Hello everyone and welcome to WGBS TV Live, brought to you by SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. In this, our March 8th, 2021 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including a leak of Justice League. We're going to be talking about the latest episode of Superman and Lois, comic books, Supergirl returning on TV, and so much more. We're also going to turn to you to take your questions and comments on any particular Superman topic you would like to discuss. And to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show, let me introduce you to my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, yes. I guess me, yes. Just kidding. I was trying to be funny and didn't have anywhere to stick that landing. How's everything going this week, Steve?
Doing well, mate. And yourself?
It's been a busy one, especially with all this. Good Lord, we have a lot of news to go through.
Which is good. So, March is a really good month for Superman fans this year.
Yeah, I was about to say we got a lot going on, but what we're doing right now is WGBS Live, and WGBS Live is all about Superman, and because of that, we want to hear from the Superman fans that are watching us live right now on YouTube. So about halfway through the show, and if we don't have too much on the docket, which tonight, we got a lot, we will try to be taking calls. And how do we do that? Well, first you're going to need Skype. Go to Skype, find Superman homepage, and then message us that you'd like to be on the show. Now, a couple things that are really important. One, message us, please. Don't just call, because that can screw things up. Also, if you are watching WGBS Live using an external speaker, please turn that down, because we are on a bit of a delay, and that causes some screw-ups.
Indeed. And for those who are tuning in live via YouTube tonight, we invite you to join in with fellow fans to post your comments, ask questions, participate in the comments there that are going on live as the show goes to air. Michael and I keep an eye on those as the rest of the show continues and respond to them as necessary. Now, if you'd like your comment or question featured live on the screen as a super chat, feel free to do that. You just click on the little dollar symbol there beneath you, choose a dollar amount and the slider that appears, and we will feature your comment or question on the screen. And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And if you'd like to sponsor the Superman homepage or this show, you'd like to see your business featured as a sponsor, you can either head to patreon.com/Superman homepage, or you can click the join button below on YouTube with different levels of perks. But we appreciate your support in any way, shape, or form. Well, Mike, what's your week been like this week?
Busy.
Yeah.
I had the day off, and yet I've been running around doing nothing but chores. So, but you've got to adult
yeah, you do.
From time to time. So, but no, I actually read 3 new comics this week, which is 3 more than I've read in quite some time on a week, like at once. So, but I'm giving this Infinite Frontier thing a try, and dipping in with some titles. So. It's kind of interesting. I forgot what it was like to read new comics.
Yeah, well, Superman number 29, the new era kind of starts this week as of tomorrow, but we'll get to the comic book side of things shortly. The breaking news of today was the fact that Zack Snyder's Justice League leaked on HBO Max in a bit of a glitch when fans who are subscribers tried to watch the new Tom and Jerry movie. Instead of getting that, they got an error, and then they got Zack Snyder's Justice League movie starting. One fan got about an hour in before things got found out and switched around, and I guess he streamed or buffered a lot of it before it supposedly went for a couple of minutes, but because he'd downloaded so much of the 4-hour film already to his box, he got to watch about an hour of the film. That's a bit of an issue.
Yeah, I think the most surprising part of that whole story is that somebody actually clicked on the Tom and Jerry movie to watch it. And the person who said that they got to watch about an hour of it said they just wanted something for background noise, and that must have been. It's like, I got work to do. I'm going to put this on in the background. Wait a second, that's Justice League. I'm not doing anything until this is over. I think the part of the story that kind of bugs me the most is watching people on Twitter get all conspiratorial about it. Like, like they're like, it was leaked on purpose. It's just like, one?
What do
How
they
is that
gain?
going to damage the movie? Seriously, it's like what the movie leaks and like people watch it and say don't watch it. I mean, it only benefits Snyder fans for this thing to leak early because then they get to watch it early.
Yeah.
So that was the only part of this that I looked at and went, that's really weird.
And the fact was, this guy who then went to watch the Tom and Jerry wasn't necessarily a Snyder fan
Yeah.
necessarily. He just was watching it, and all of a sudden he starts getting the first hour of the Justice League movie, and he really liked what he saw, which is promising. It's not like it's a Snyder bot out there going, "Yeah, I saw it and I loved it. You all must love it too." It was, I don't know what that voice was.
Okay,
Sorry about
for
that.
the rest of my life, if I ever see a bot on Twitter, that's the voice I'm gonna hear when I read it. That was great. No, seriously, that was wonderful.
Yeah, so look, it is what it is. They fixed the glitch, and now we still have 10 days to go till we watch Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max for real. But in the meantime, he's been really busy this past week, posting little bits and pieces about the film. We now know that it'll be, while it's a 4-hour film, in a 4-hour block, it will actually have 6 chapters and be broken up into, I guess, 6 elements of the story. Here is what we know about the 6 chapters. Part 1 is called Don't Count on It, Batman. Part 2 is The Age of Heroes. Part 3 is Beloved Mother, Beloved Son, which sounds very Superman related. Part 4 is Change Machine. Part 5, All the King's Horses. And Part 6, Something Darker. What do you make of these?
They're interesting. I was actually kind of hoping that, don't count on it, Batman, and the next thing would rhyme with that, like the old Adam West TV show titles when it was part 1 and part 2. Just don't count on that. Don't count on that, Batman. Face up, Aquaman. No, I mean, if it's split up into 6 parts, that's actually kind of cool because it gives the movie more of an epic feel. It's just like in the old days when they would show movies that are so long they'd have an intermission in the middle of it. You don't really need that anymore because you can just pause the stream. But no, this is like one of those things where I see it and I'm like, that's unlike some other things that I read this weekend about potential, what could have potentially been done. This is fantastic.
Indeed. Yes, it's people are asking, did Snyder comment at all about the leak? No, I haven't seen any comments by Zack Snyder as regarding what he thought about the leak happening. He probably doesn't care. It's probably just more promo and material for him to boost the hype around the upcoming proper release. People commenting that Part 3, Beloved Mother, Beloved Son, could be to do with Cyborg, mother being the mother box, and him being part of the mother box.
Or his mother dying in the accident that created him, so there's that too.
Yep, indeed. And I think Snyder said somewhere along the lines that his version of Justice League is very much a Cyborg story, or Cyborg's are very much an integral part of the story he's trying to tell. Snyder has also been very much active putting out promo material. Started off with some banners, new graphics for everything's black and white, mind you, so kind of get over that straight away. Nothing is in color. So there was this banner released, and then there was the poster version of it also. And he also, day after day, and he's still going, in the last 5 days, he's had poster images and banners for each of the characters, starting with Batman and then moving on to Superman, with a little teaser for each of the characters. And it's still going. We put up the Batman and the Superman ones on the days that they were released. We'll show you the Cyborg, the Wonder Woman, the Flash, and Aquaman's one in the next couple of days, or tomorrow, I guess, by the time he's finally gotten around to showing them all. But here is a look at some of the Superman material that Snyder released this week on social media. Here is let's go with the Superman teaser.
whole world is mourning, grieving over a symbol.
Let's hope you're not too late.
It's like they were afraid of him.
Fly, son. It's time.
I made a promise on his grave.
This world will join the others.
What do we have to lose? No us without him.
We do this together.
Get down!
You will help them accomplish wonders.
They wanted me back for a reason. I need to find out why.
So there you have it. That was the Superman teaser with all the voiceovers going along with that imagery of Superman walking, or Clark Kal-El, whatever you want to call him, walking through that corridor of different costumes. It seems like some of Zod's costumes and things coming out, as well as some alternate Superman costumes, the blue and red one there, but he chooses the black and silver one to fly out of the fortress in.
Yeah, I thought it was a perfectly serviceable teaser. I mean, it was kind of interesting seeing, they released something similar to that as a deleted scene on the Justice League movie when it came out on I keep wanting to say home video, because I'm old. No, but it's kind of cool seeing it in the context of which it was really supposed to be in, and it's interesting also that there was a blue and red costume in there, and he went for the black one. And that kind of shows you where Superman's mind is, at least in terms of this movie. Indeed. And there are a couple of animated GIFs or videos without sound, depending on which social media platform you saw them on. He was a Clark Kent one without any audio. So just kind of a few little scenes of Clark Kent, and here was another Superman one. So some nice imagery of Clark and Superman in different portions of Snyder's film. There was an animated GIF for the Batman one of Superman helping Batman up. And my first reaction to that was maybe he should pretend to drop him. Like, you're gonna just hold him. Remember when he tried to kill me? So indeed. Should mention the background behind me before I push on any further, because we might not get a chance to talk about it with all the topics we've got tonight. This is an Iron Studios Clark Kent Superman statue, a deluxe statue that is being released. It's available for pre-order now. So if you are interested in that, you can check out the links on our website to order that. But I just thought I'd mention it, seeing it's in the background. And while I'm talking about things that are on display here in this video, I'm wearing a t-shirt from Ripped.com, the Metropolis Reporters Club. These are like little parody t-shirts that are not exactly licensed material. They sent me this one, was the nicest of the bunch that I saw available, you might like to pick up as well. It's a pretty cool looking t-shirt. That is cool. That's really cool. A little bit different. All right, there's a Batman teaser, there's a Superman teaser, there's Wonder Woman now, The Flash, Aquaman, if you want to check those out. There was also this little Darkseid one that I don't think was officially released, although it did find its way onto online. It's a Twitch ad for Darkseid.
I have turned 100,000 worlds to dust. Looking for those who robbed me of my glory. I will stride across their bones. And all of existence shall be mine.
So there you have it. That looked like Darkseid's hand falling on Superman's shoulder. Yeah, well, we were kind of expecting that. There was the whole thing in Batman v Superman of him, like heat visioning Batman to death. So, yes. So we'll wait and see more of Zack Snyder's Justice League coming March 18th. and there's heaps of material coming out online over the next few days leading up to March 18th. I'm sure it'll just keep ramping up and up as we get closer. But we did see another leaked photo this week of Henry Cavill with the moustache. Here is the image that leaked this time around. Check it out. There he is, about to race the Flash, if I remember that scene correctly.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, it's just there's so much weird about that image. I mean, he doesn't have the cape on because that's all computer generated.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the mustache.
He's got the little red dots on his face too, which I supposedly are there to help the 3D graphics people render out his moustache, but they didn't do a very good job of parts of that movie, although I didn't really necessarily think that this had any major problems with his facial features.
No, it was one of the better ones. It wasn't like the first scene, which is written great. It's just, it's kind of a horror show to watch.
Yeah, exactly. So, that is the image that leaked. There's been a couple of others that we've previously mentioned before with Henry with the moustache. And if you don't know the story of the moustache, where have you been hiding for the last 3 years?
Yeah. Actually, I envy that person.
Yeah, indeed. You've now been awakened to the horror that has been our predicament over the last couple of years. Zack Snyder's Justice League soundtrack is being released. It has 54 tracks on this.
I saw that.
I mean, it is a 4-hour movie. There's got to be a lot of material that Tom Holkenborg, aka Junkie XL, has put together a new soundtrack for this film. What are you going to say?
I was just saying I was really surprised that it wasn't by Junkie XL because I thought that was the name he went by. But that's okay. That's fine. I mean, I'll be paying. I buy soundtracks, so
yeah,
I'll be picking it up.
I haven't seen this one in physical media. Yes, it's available, for digital download as is the want these days. I usually like to buy the CDs. I don't know how many CDs that would require for a 54-track album. Like, is it a box of 10 CDs? I don't know. But anyway, it's
something like that. Imagine the vinyl edition of this thing.
Indeed. Here is one of the tracks that was recently released to help promote the soundtrack. It's called Water Tower. Let me get that for you once again. Let me turn this off. And here is Water Tower. There's just part of the soundtrack there of one particular title called The Water Tower, which thanks to Water Tower Music, believe it or not. I think that's the name of the title, unless I totally got it wrong, but that's what it's called Middlemass. There you go, I've just stuffed that all up. It's called Middlemass by Water Tower Music, who is releasing Warner Brothers soundtrack label from Tom Holkenborg. Middlemass was the part of that tune that was released, a little bit of a video there to go along with it. But if you want to pick that up, the question that we just saw from John Patrick Van Pelt was, how long would it take to listen to the whole soundtrack? I don't know if the running time was released with the information. I didn't see any of that detail.
Yeah, I'm looking on Amazon right now to see if it's available yet. I'm
not seeing it
really
either. So I'm sure we'll get more details as that gets closer. But the soundtrack to the original motion picture, Zack Snyder's Justice League. And talking about soundtracks to films, Watertower Music are also, La La Land Records are also now taking orders for the 40th anniversary 3 CD remastered limited edition collection for Superman the movie. This was released previously but was unavailable for quite some time and now is back in stock. So you can order the Superman the movie 40th anniversary remastered limited edition 3 CD set from La La Land Records via our website. It has limited to 5,000 units. It features 44-page booklet with in-depth liner notes and is available to order now and get it before it sells out again, because it sold out pretty quickly back when it was first released.
Yeah, I cannot recommend it enough. It is one of the best sounding versions that they've released thus far.
Yeah, indeed, I totally agree, and it's really nicely packaged, so definitely something you will want to add to your collection. So that is available now. Head to our website for the link to that. Anything else about the Justice League or movies that I've skipped that you can think of that you wanted to talk about before we move on to the television side of things?
Nope. I mean, I got something to add to the television thing at the end, but I'm raring to talk about Superman and Lois because it was a good episode.
It was. Beast Boy in the comments saying, "Can you guys talk about Superman and Lois?" We're going to go to that right now. First off, before we talk about the second episode titled Heritage, which aired on Tuesday night there in the US, Thursday night here in Australia. Good news, Superman and Lois has been renewed for a second season. How fantastic is that so early on? Obviously, great ratings, great reviews. It's just been fantastic news for the CW and Warner Brothers all around as far as Superman and Lois is concerned. And they went straight into a renewal for a second season.
Yeah, as my co-host on the Superman and Lois tapes pointed out, this is around the time they start usually announcing renewals. But I think just the ratings on that first episode, given that it was the most viewed premiere that they've done in years, but the 7-day viewing stats were incredible as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure they looked at that and went, "Nah, we're going to keep going with this."
Yeah, for sure. And the second episode aired. It was, as I said, titled Heritage. It, in some ways, was better than the pilot for me.
Yeah, I don't know if it was better than the pilot. I just think it was one of the best. Usually the second episode, you can kind of... It's not as good because you're so hopped up on the pilot. I think it was just so good and they did so many really cool things within the episode that it didn't feel like a normal second episode. It felt like they're really just coming out guns blazing with this show.
Exactly. And well, it was written and directed by the same pair that wrote and directed the pilot episode. So it should feel like an extension of the premiere. And I think this episode did Jonathan Kent a lot better than the first one. It made him more of a likable character than the first. In the first, you kind of got the feeling that, all his jibes and his little, goes at his brother were, out of love rather than being a nasty kind of character. But the second episode, you felt for him more because of the position he was in and the sacrifices he was making to allow for his family and especially his brother to find their feet.
Yeah, I really liked how, the focus of this episode was more on Lois. She was the one doing the opening and closing narration, which I liked. And I assume that's probably going to be something that, as we go forward, like future episodes are going to be narrated, one by Jonathan, one by Jordan, maybe. But what I particularly liked is the scene between Jonathan and Lois, where Jonathan looks at her and says, we both gave up our lives to come here. And it was just a way to bring those characters closer together. Like Jordan kind of takes more after his dad, but Jonathan more after his mom. That was kind of a cool way to show that. Like all the family dynamics of this episode really worked. Like that, Jordan and Jonathan arguing, just God knows I argued with my siblings, like especially my sister Jane, like all the time.
Yeah, no, it felt really true and really, realistic as far as their conversations were concerned. And I loved Lois in this episode. The way she, tackled things was just so on point.
Yeah.
Couple of questions from our fans. What did you think of Clark Kent's first trip of showing his son Jordan to the Fortress of Solitude from John Patrick Van Pelt?
The only thing I was disappointed in is that I really liked the Fortress of Solitude set from Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a lot more claustrophobic. And did you see like it's like instead of having like this massive, like setup, it's got like a laptop sitting in the middle of the room that shows everything. But what I did like about that is that we got the destruction of Krypton and the little things they threw into that, like the whole planet knew the planet was going to be destroyed and it threw the planet into chaos. I'm like, wow, that's kind of a cool take.
Yeah. Everything
I was just,
to mess.
With every iteration we've seen and like all the different versions, that was like the first time I ever heard anybody really talking about that. The other thing is, shouldn't there have been 2 ships leaving Krypton?
Yeah, technically, yes.
Just saying.
I like the fact that he says that Jordan is named after Jor-El. That's nice because everyone's saying, what's Jordan? Where do we get the name Jordan? Why not? We've got Jonathan, we've had Connor, we've had all these other names. We've never had Jordan before, so Jordan is named after Jor-El. I like that. That was a nice homage.
I still like they had the twins come out and they're like, well, if it's boys, what do we name them? Well, we got to name one Jonathan. Yeah, after your dad. So should we name the other one Sam? And Lois just stares at him. So Jordan, right? That's what we'll do.
Who is the actor who played Jor-El? Asks John. Will we see him again, do you think?
I forget the name of that actor. He was in Braveheart. I know that. He played a jerk. God, that Jor-El AI was kind of a jerk. Though I will have to say, holograms is the best thing ever.
Yeah, like the name holograms.
I was like, yeah, that is perfection.
John's also asking the history of Superman comics, TVs, movies, anything. Have we seen him destroy an entire planet before? And I think he's alluding to the fact that Captain Luthor, says that the Superman from his world somehow was responsible for destroying his entire planet.
I don't think so.
Not intentionally, not unless it was Ultraman.
Yeah.
And that could be who he's referring to. It could be Ultraman, could be the version, that kind of thing that Captain Luthor had to deal with.
Yeah, I kind of appreciate like the fact that they brought back 7734 was kind of surprising. It's like I never expected anybody to make any reference to New Krypton. But they kind of threw that in there. And how Snyder-esque was that whole sequence on the other planet of Superman in the sky and the rain with the angry red eyes of anger. It's just like someone's taking a poke at somebody here.
John also asking, why is Jonathan playing football in the first place when Clark didn't at all during his high school years? Well, you got to remember that as far as Lois and Clark are concerned, their sons weren't exhibiting any superpowers, so there was no danger for these boys to have normal lives. Yeah,
and he did play football in the post-crisis world, and he did get to play it for a little bit on the 4th season of Smallville. Yeah. So they went with the team manager route with this new version. But yeah, they outside of being able to throw a football through a rope and break it, which is weird. He seems to be able to take a hit.
Yeah. Anthony doesn't think it's Jor-El's AI. He thinks maybe Brainiac posing as Jor-El. I don't think there was any indication. That's possible, but an AI just could be heartless, just no emotions.
Yeah, it's like, dude, he's right there.
Yeah.
He's standing right behind you.
Luthor giving Sam that little medallion thing with the hell, the 7734 on the back. Are you worried about Sam, General Sam Lane now? I mean, I was worried about him from the beginning.
Yeah, I was about to say, and in the extended cut, they talk about all the kryptonite he has to protect Superman. It's totally to protect Superman.
Of course.
There's no other reason
at all. No.
I like the idea that they're playing with the concept of a villain or the antagonist distrusting Superman, which may make Sam distrust Superman. But everything we've seen so far, Superman's a hero. Like, everyone loves him. So it doesn't feel like the movies, because we now kind of have a history of this character being liked. So if you're going to have, like, a major figure of authority mistrust him, that works better for me than what we got in Batman v Superman.
Yeah, indeed. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're just over the halfway point of tonight's show. We're going to play some messages. And then we're going to come back and continue talking about Superman and Lois and what's coming up for this season and when it will be taking a break. We'll be back right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying WGBS TV Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program. Just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by visiting patreon.com/Superman homepage.
Up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman in Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
I'm freezing! Superman!
Uh-oh, sounds like Lisa and Scott are trapped in the icy cave of that frosty-faced villain, Captain Cold. This is a job for Superman.
My fast freeze zapper will freeze Superman forever.
No way, Captain. Here, kids, my new Superman Hot Cocoa Mix is the super-tasting way to warm up.
It's really sweet. And chocolatey.
And see, Captain Cold can't take this warm reception. New Superman Hot Cocoa, the super-tasting way to warm up.
And we're back on WGBS TV Live, where a thirsty Michael takes a sip from his Superman cup. What have we got today? Unsweetened tea?
No, it's sweet tea, but it's Splenda, so it's not real. It's a black tea mixed with some cinnamon apple tea, and it's my I make it, so it's decaf, because if I drank that much tea all the time, I'd just die.
Did you bring some to share with the rest of the class?
If anybody wants some, I'm very sorry. No, I didn't. We traded drinks once, and that was like over 10 years ago.
That's right. COVID doesn't happen with that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah, you guys, it's just terrible in the United States. You don't want anything from here right now.
All right, we are moving on with Superman and Lois. If you're interested, there are extended versions of each episode available on the CW streaming service on their digital platform. So I don't know how much or how many extra minutes there are, but obviously there are little bits and pieces that you can add to what you've seen when they first air.
Yeah, the conversation between Lois and Lana and Clark was not in the aired version, And I am 99.9% sure that the kryptonite thing wasn't in the extended version either, or in the network version. And it's a smart move because, one, there are a lot of people who've cut the cord so they don't have cable, or the over-the-air thing, so they can't watch it. So this is the only way they can watch it. But also, it kind of drives traffic. Like, you've watched it, now watch the director's cut, and it's free. I'm kind of assuming that it's a way to kind of drive up numbers. But, they're legitimate numbers if you're watching it twice.
I think we must get the extended version here, because we definitely saw the kryptonite stuff, and we definitely saw the Lois and Lana conversation in the episode that aired here. So they're probably just shoving in more ads in the CW version that they show on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming too.
John asks, what are the chances of the CW re-airing Superman and Lois pilot with an extended cut later on down the road? I don't know if I think what we saw was the extended cut, because they made it an hour and a half long length.
Yeah,
pilot.
I was about to say we didn't get to see how much more are you going to have in there?
Exactly. But re-airing it, well, you can just stream it now live. Stream it whenever you want on the CW app, so no need, I guess. But there could be extras if they'd ever do a DVD or Blu-ray set of bloopers and deleted scenes that didn't make the cut. But we'll just have to wait and see if that ever happens. But now we look forward to this coming tomorrow night's episode there in the US, titled "The Perks of Not Being a Wallflower." Here is the promo trailer for that particular episode.
There's no reason to hide it. Now that you both know he's Superman.
There's nothing I want more than for you guys to be happy.
You lose your job, you bring us here.
We've been here for less than a week and somebody already tried to blow up my car.
I wish you would go back to not being around anymore.
Doesn't look like Clark and Jordan are getting along.
I always, when I see those now, I just assume it's going to be like one part of the episode, and by the end everything's going to be okay, which is okay, because I'm at least it's better than Smallville, where Jordan would be mad at Clark for like half the season,
passive aggressively.
Yes.
Beast Boy asking, does Lana Lang know Clark's secret? No, not in this version of the story.
Yeah. No, it would be funny if, at some point, the entire town just admitted they knew, and they just don't say anything about it because, he's a hero. So.
And then he's theirs. I did see some crackpot article somewhere along the line about there's a big plot hole, because after Crisis, they said that the Smallville version of Clark and Lois still existed on Earth Prime, if this is Earth Prime. I don't remember ever hearing that or them saying that. They just said that his story continued, but that's because I think some of the Earths still survived out there.
Yeah, I mean, they showed all the Doom Patrol Earth, the Titans, Brandon Routh's Superman is still out there.
Yeah.
With a shinier symbol.
So, yeah. So I don't know where that one came from. But, the Perks of Not Being a Wallflower airs on the CW there in the US tomorrow, Tuesday, March 10th at 9 p.m. And we do know that some of the cast have answered some of more questions that have been posted to them or posed to them on the CW YouTube channel. Here is them talking about Lois Lane and what the character means to them. 3 words to describe Lois Lane.
Trying to confine to 3 words here. I feel like I'm writing haikus in 7th grade English class.
Uncompromising.
Strong. A strong woman.
Fierce.
Driven.
Determined.
Determined.
Compassionate.
Very intelligent. That's 4 words, but intelligent.
And persistent.
So, intelligent, persistent, interesting words to describe Lois Lane. Do you have 3 words you would describe how you would describe Lois?
Best reporter ever.
Nice. Excellent. And then there was another video called Suddenly Super Sons. talking to Alex Garfin and Jordan Elsas about their roles as Jonathan and Jordan, not in that order.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the Super Sons video that was released.
That ship brought me to Earth.
You're saying you're Superman?
No, I've seen Superman before. We've seen him.
When Jonathan and Jordan find out that their dad is Superman, I don't think he ever saw it coming. He doesn't know what to say, he doesn't know what to do, he doesn't know how to think.
All the times you were gone, you lied to us. You both did.
Jordan's reaction to his father being Superman, it's mainly fueled by betrayal.
You lied to protect his secret. All the things I've been feeling. You made me think I was crazy. They put me on bills.
He sees his father as someone who doesn't understand him. Someone who he can't understand. He doesn't even know the other half of him. And someone who is never there.
Jordan!
Don't try to talk to me, all right? You may have been sent here to be some hero, but you sure as hell weren't sent here to be a father.
So yeah, talking about Jonathan and Jordan there. And I was also interested to see this little video of them turning the famous Warner Brothers water tower into a billboard for the Superman and Lois TV series. This was really cool, a little time-lapse video. Thank goodness it wasn't a windy day.
Yes, exactly.
That could have been a nightmare.
Yeah, I see people on that crane, and I'm like, nope, not me.
No, don't do it.
Nope. Couldn't pay me to be up there.
We also got a new poster image, a character poster image for Captain Luthor, the Stranger, as he was initially known, and in the script was known as the Stranger. Obviously played by Wale Parks. A few scars there on Lex's face.
Yeah, it's everyone's I'm waiting for our posters. I'm kind of looking forward to
create our own.
Yeah, that'd be just look really dramatic.
Yeah, so. A lot of makeup needed.
Yeah. Yes. I would agree with that.
Especially with this shiny head. So that's a new character poster. I think they've pretty much covered most of the characters as far as the main cast are concerned. We might get a Chrissy Beppo one. That's probably the next one to come out.
My new favorite character, by the way. I love Chrissy.
Yeah,
I love Chrissy
she's
so much.
not only the writer, reporter, editor. She's janitor. She's everything there at the Smallville Gazette.
I am a fan of that character from right from the jump.
Not sure how much Lois is getting paid there, but I don't imagine it's going to be as much as she was making at the Daily Planet.
No, I figure she's going to get like a Patreon. Hooked up, and she'll like put out exclusive articles to it. Probably make a lot of money that way. Maybe she'll become a YouTuber.
Maybe. A Rom in the comments says, "Someone tell Captain Luthor multiverse means they're different on each Earth." He does seem to be pretty single-minded in his hatred of this Superman. Surely he sees as a hero and does a bit with all the technology at his disposal. Does he not see that this guy maybe is not the same as the one that was on his Earth?
I'm wondering if his Superman started off as a hero as well.
True, like Injustice.
And then went bad. Yeah, like something like that. So it's kind of... the way I see it is that he went through such a traumatic experience that he cannot see any other option than Superman also being a danger to everybody. So yeah.
Couple of questions. Kenneth asks, what baddies would we like to see appear on Superman and Lois in the future?
Well, we got to cross off all the ones that we've seen on Supergirl so far, so that's about half the rogues gallery.
A Bizarro could be cool.
Bizarro would be cool, especially if Tyler gets to play him.
Mm-hmm.
Though, that worked out okay with on Superboy with another actor playing him. I'd like to see Brainiac. I'd like to see maybe a new prankster. We've gotten Toyman, so why not the prankster? I really would like to see John Cryer show up for like a 2 or 3 episode run, just to actually see Superman and Lex Luthor bounce off each other. That would be like the real evil Lex Luthor, not the misguided Lex Luthor we see now.
Craig McDonald says, "What if Mixie shows up and turns Chrissy Beppo into a monkey?"
That'd be funny.
That would be cool. Anthony says, "Do you think they'll introduce Jordan into comic book continuity going forward now that we have a Jonathan?"
Anything's possible. Like a lot of these questions, the answer is anything's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it took a really long time for Chloe to show up, but she finally got into the comics.
Well, Craig's got a good one. Conduit.
Ooh, yeah,
that could work in this version of the story.
Mind the Gap
could be Kyle.
Mind the Gap is seriously playing to my favorite Superman stories, Draga from the Exile storyline, which would be Mongol, as Michael just suggested. So I'd be down for Conduit just because everything's at Smallville now. That makes sense.
It'd be nice if they threw in his grandfather from the Krypton series, just brought him in for an episode just to tie that in nicely. That would be cool.
Yeah, no, I'd totally be down for that. Because really, that Krypton, the suit that Jor-El was wearing was very reminiscent of the one from that first episode.
Yeah.
Of Krypton. So
John also asks, is this the first time in the Super comic there, is this the first time Luthor is played by an African-American actor in history for Superman movies and TV? I think he was kind of hinted at as being maybe a mixed race in Superman the Animated Series. It always came across that way.
Yeah, they were drawing him to kind of look like Telly Savalas, actually. But yeah, no, I don't, not that we've seen.
No, not in live action anyway.
Yeah, definitely not in live action. Back in the 90s when they were like starting to talk about that, the Superman Lives as a potential Superman movie, me and my roommate were wanting Ving Rhames to be cast as Lex Luthor because we thought he was a very imposing figure. Not foreseeing the future of the internet and how many people would freak out at such a thing. But I'd be down for it. The only problem is that you're then casting an African-American actor as the villain.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot. So it may not be a good idea. This is why I like Captain Luthor, because he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's just he's just suffering from trauma from his Earth. So they're giving him some shading, which I really like.
What did the Kents do with their wages? Asks Justin. Are you talking about Jonathan and Martha? Or are you talking about Lois and Clark?
I'm sure they pretty much had everything in that piece of property. It looked like their neighborhood was getting gentrified anyway, so they probably made a pretty good bit of money off of selling their place in Metropolis, and everything's now going into the farm.
Exactly, because you sell off an apartment in Metropolis, so you're getting quite a bit of... You don't have to pay for a new house because you already got one there in Smallville.
Yep.
So, we now have a description for the 5th episode of Superman and Lois, which is not titled what we originally thought it was. I think it was called Beacon at the time when we first heard it. It is now called The Best of Smallville, which is not a reference to the TV series. It's just the name of this episode about the town, Smallville.
No, seriously, it should just be an hour-long episode with the best clips from the Smallville TV series.
You know how they do a special, like a Christmas special, and all it is the characters thinking back, and they just do clips from different... Yeah, that would be funny. But it reads, as Smallville celebrates its first harvest festival since Martha's passing, Clark is reminded what his mother meant to him and learns a lesson that will help him move past her death. Meanwhile, Lois makes a breakthrough in the investigation of Morgan Edge. Lastly, Kyle tries to reconnect with Lana, but it seems like he might be falling back into his old ways.
Ooh, that's not good.
Not at all. So, yeah, that's the 5th episode, and pretty much the last episode for a while. Because
until May.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is Superman and Lois will have its first 5 episodes, and then they had to take a break, I think, because of COVID restrictions and things during filming. But not to worry, because Supergirl will be jumping into the Tuesday 9 p.m. time slot, earlier than we expected, for its beginning of its 6th and final season. So Tuesday, March 30th, Supergirl season 6 will premiere. It'll run for, I think, 2 months. And then Superman and Lois will return to take back over the Tuesday time slot on May 18th, at which point Supergirl will then take a mid-season break. So they're swapping and changing, but we will still have a super character on Tuesday nights for the next foreseeable future.
Yeah, so that we were wise to change her time slot.
Yes. So Supergirl is coming back, and it is going to be, as I said, on Tuesday, March 30th. The premiere, there it is there on your screen. Season 6 premiere, March 30th, which is a Tuesday at 9 p.m, taking over Superman and Lois time slot as they will be taking a break. All right, so with that out of the way, I did notice last night the Critics' Choice Awards was on there, and Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch, who play Clark and Lois, presented the 2 awards, the Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series and Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series, and they did a little bit of a comedy routine themselves. Here is what they did.
I'm thrilled to introduce 2 more CW actors who play married couple Clark Kent and Lois Lane in the new series Superman and Lois, Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch. Here they are from Vancouver, Canada.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Tulloch, and I play Lois Lane on the new series Superman and Lois on the CW.
And I'm Tyler Hoechlin, and I play Clark Kent and Superman. We're here. What?
Well, somebody else plays Superman.
No, you can see I play both parts.
I mean, Superman's slightly better looking, but okay.
You can see I play both parts.
Anyway, here are the nominees for Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series.
So there were the 2 of them. Elizabeth saying that, no, he doesn't play Clark and Superman. The person who plays Superman is slightly better looking than him.
That's funny.
He could have been wearing glasses there in that little sequence just to kind of give that.
Where did Tyler go?
Yeah. But, yeah, so that's cute. And they announced that Daniel Levi from Schitt's Creek won that award, and Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso won the other award that they were both announcing at the Critics' Choice Award 2021, 26th Annual Awards. So good on them for being involved. Obviously interesting to see how the awards are run now with video, call-ins, if you like, rather than people being there in person.
Yeah, I kind of dug one of the award shows. I think the Golden Globes. Jodie Foster was in her PJs. It's just like, I'm not getting dolled up for this.
As you do. All right, to the comic book side of things. A new Supergirl comic book series has been announced. It's a limited series. It's not an ongoing. It's called Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. It will be a new 8-issue limited series by Belkwe Everly, Matt Lopes, and Tom King. So good to see Tom King writing something hopefully hopeful with Supergirl. He's renowned for doing things less hopeful. But yes, this is a new series focusing on Kara Zor-El. Here is the graphic. What do you think of this, Michael?
If you're gonna call it Woman of Tomorrow, why not just call it Superwoman? I mean, I guess they got like copyright stuff. Also, with the sword, that kind of looks like that cover to that Superman annual from the '80s, 100%. Where he's just holding up the sword. No, I'm just a little disappointed that it's a miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, and they took way too long to announce that it's coming out. So
it could be, they do often do a mini series and kind of get a taste of how the fans are reacting to it, and then the mini series is actually an introduction to a new ongoing. That could be something they're aiming to do. We don't know. I guess we'll wait and see on how sales continue. But it's Supergirl's launch into DC's Infinite Frontier, so it could definitely be the start of something new for the character going forward.
Yeah, I'm glad she's getting something, but there were a lot of upset people on Twitter when this was announced.
Upset that it's only limited, or upset that it's actually happening?
that it's only a limited, and upset that Tom King is writing it. That seemed to be the two major problems. So
so look, this launches June 15th. So there's a March, April, May, June. So there's still another 4 months to go until we see the first issue of this new Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow series. But as you mentioned, Infinite Frontier is a new era of comic books, and it's kind of interesting you enough to pick up a few books. DC have announced that they're expanding the new series with a new 6-issue summer event by Joshua Williamson and Zamanico beginning June 22nd. And these were both the Supergirl and this part of upcoming solicitations that were announced recently. Infinite Frontier, a new era. Is it like a delineation in the comic book era of things where we start talking about, pre-crisis, post-crisis? Now we're going to be talking Infinite Frontier era?
Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed with that, because it's just like, is it post-crisis? Is it pre-crisis? Is it post-Infinite Crisis? Is it pre-Flashpoint? Is it post-Flashpoint? Is it post-Rebirth? It's just like one of those things where I'm just, you guys are trying way too hard. I mean, it was a good book, it really was, but it felt like Rebirth all over again.
Well, we just have to wait and see how this catches on, or if it doesn't, or how it's going to push forward. But as I mentioned, new comic books. This week, Superman number 29 is out tomorrow. Our reviewer will have it. Adam DeChannel's new review for it will be up tomorrow as well. So there's also Earth 1 box set. There's a Final Night trade paperback, new edition. Superman Volume 3, The Truth Revealed trade paperback. And Superman The Last Sun Deluxe Edition hardcover. They are out this week as well. But for tonight, that is all we have time for in this show. It just flew past. Make sure you check out the show in full if you tuned in late. Want to catch it all again, it'll be available on our website and our YouTube channel. But Michael and I will be back next week on Monday, March 15th, for a new edition of WGBS TV Live. We look forward to talking to you then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. Thanks to our sponsors, John Patrick Van Pelt, I've just skipped on our sponsors' names. Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And thank you to you, my co-host, which I don't never forget your name, although I did call you Neil once, Michael Bailey.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And we'll be back next week, as I said, Monday, March 15th. I'm Steve Eunice. On behalf of myself and Michael Bailey, thanks for watching WGBS TV Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. Bye.